Yo, so what's up, guys? As you can see here, Kirby and Zapfire made me think of a good ass video idea. Since a lot of people complain about this topic, fuck it, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. In 2015, while some of y'all were just like 1v1ing for fun, some players were in the competitive scene playing for rank, for tourney, for post. They had earned so many accomplishments on paper, it would look stupid for me to put someone who had to even earn rank 2 above them in the all-time rankings. Some 1v1ers will straight up lose 1v1s by some people below them in the official rankings. The thing is, the official list accounts for skills and most importantly, accomplishments. Accomplishments matter, or else like why even like strive to get rank 1 and all that shit if it wouldn't matter. Those matter a lot. But it gets tricky because on paper, Zapfire is better than even 2020 Kirby. On paper. But in actuality, if they played Prime versus Prime, Kirby would probably beat him due to 1v1 evolving so much since like 2015. That being said, if I had to rank the top 10 just by skill and by the people they beat for fun, this is how my top 10 would look without adding accomplishments into the equation. So a pure skill list, okay? Pure skill. Okay, so lastly in the 10th spot is Gambit. Gambit is someone who has traps and ground game. That's something that someone who is all traps does not want to face. Gambit skill-wise clears and no one under Vector's trillion skill level could beat him honestly at his best. Alright, going to the 9th spot is Trillion. He literally smokes smoking, no pun intended. I've always said this, I think he's an equal to Vectors, which is a big compliment to his skills to be as good as his senior. He also won a 2020 tournament and won Hall of Fame. So yeah, pretty impressive kid.
2017 and 2019, by then I already learned everything I needed to know, and at that point I wouldn't say I took the game as serious, but I wasn't exactly like nervous or anything whenever I played people, because I was extremely confident in my abilities and just saw everyone as regular players at that point. So I guess in a way I kind of showed out more those years because of that.
Alright, so moving on to the 8th spot, we got It's Vectors. Yes, without accomplishments being added to the mix, I think he's top 8 all time. Comparing Prime 2019 Vectors to Prime 2015 Zapfire would be a really bad matchup for Zapfire. Just because the progression of 1v1 had evolved so much by 2019, I don't think he stands a chance unless we include accomplishments. Vectors had beat Gambit for post at this point and was giving me, Gambit, and Randy decent games, so yeah. Alright, next up I got Arrogant. I think on paper Arrogant is over Randy's considering their history. He beat him for rank and then for post. But if we add into account the extra year Randy's played where he beat Prime Gambit for rank and Vectors for post and for tourney and 30-year-old Gambit, I like Arrogant, but his best feats were beating a newer to the game Randy's for post and being Pipe's best for rank challenge but never actually beating him. Randy's actually beat Pipe for post and for rank 1. Beat Pipe, yeah, for both of Perennial. I forgot which one it was. But I do think Prime Arrogant beats 2015 Vocals, so I'll have him in this slot. He also won a tournament this year, but the competition in the tournament was kind of Like, I'll show you guys in this picture. It's my boy, though. He is pretty skilled. I'll put him here at this spot right here. Okay, so next up, we got Randy's. And after Randy's, I think the top 5 still stay the same. I'll explain why once we get to every individual part, but let's stick to Randy's. You'd have to like really debate to not have any like of us 5 up there. The big change comes in the 6th spot all time though. SWAT was really good, but if we compare 2017 to 2018 Randy's to 2015 SWAT, there's no comparison. Prime Randy's probably 30-0s him if I'm being honest. Like, let's be honest. In the 5th spot, we got LC, and honestly, it could be like changed. LC and Randy's could be like interchanged, honestly. I also think that Randy's could easily control middle and out-trap LC if LC's ground game isn't working. If his wall bangs and ground game ain't really working hidden, Randy's will out-trap that boy because Randy's traps are better. It's just that LC has a little bit of traps and a lot of ground game too. But he completely dominated the early half of BO1, beating the likes of Wabby, Vask, me, Red Bull, Pipe. So yeah, like this dude, and his 2015 Prime still holds up to 2020. Like, he'd beat a lot of people. So yeah. Okay, going into the 4th spot. Next up is Z Pitbull. He took over the early part of 2016 and was number 1 before Pipe came, and was consistently top 3 every year when he played, even managing to 30-0 with 2016 Red Bull. Although I was rusty as hell, it's still impressive because he's the only one to ever do that to me, you know? He's also beat Pipe for post in 2017, and again, although Pipe wasn't active, he maintains like 60% of his shots, so it's still impressive, you know. Also, other 1v1ers like Vectors put Pitbull above Gambi. Look at this.
Honestly, I would probably put Pitbull as number one. Sorry, son, but sorry, Gambi, but I think Pitbull, he honestly just barely has an edge over you, you know, if whatever he showed was 100% his skill anyway. And then, of course, I would put Gambi as number two. Then I would put...
But I think that opinion is to be expected since Pitbull 30 Vectors at his very best. So, of course, he would think this way, you know? Also, Pitbull himself said he's better here in this clip that I'm about to show.
I'd have to consider myself better, but don't get me wrong, Gambi's right there with me. If me and him was to play for post today or within the past year, I don't know how it would go, to be honest with you. It could be either way. But last time we played, I was on Pipe's account, Pipe was on my account. I played Randy's, Gambi, and Gambit. I beat them all twice in a row, just to prove a point, to see if anybody would say, mod or this, mod or that. No, it was, damn, Pipe, you're so good. I don't understand why I don't get that attention, or that respect, as Pitbull. Add this in with the last one. Olive, you say that you care about Gambi.
Okay, so coming in the third spot is Gambi. Gambi was number one for 2 years straight, beating everybody. Everyone thought he couldn't be beat at a certain point. He earned rank 1 and got Hall of Fame, being on top of the food chain for 2 years straight. The only one to ever do that, the only 1v1 to ever be number one for 2 years straight is me in 2019 and 2020, and then the only 1v1 to be number one in 3 years straight is me from 2015, 2019, 2020. Alright. It's about Gambi though. It's about Gambi. But yeah, that just shows how fucking, like, his accolades are up there. Like, Gambi is like that. He's super evenly matched with his senior Pitbull, but his accomplishments push him further above, in my opinion. But like I said, if you guys want to interchange them, like Vectors thinks Pitbull's better, like honestly, I wouldn't be mad. I think they're like literally twins. They're the same. Alright, so coming in the second spot, it's the guy with the alien shot. It's the guy who could be off for years, come back and still have like 60% of his prime shot still. It's Pipe. He has beaten everybody and got number one in 2016 by beating Gambi for tourney. He beat Arrogant for rank, Gambit for post, and he beat Randy's for post too, and for rank. And he's been going back and forth with Pitbulls and for funds. He has a pretty solid resume. He's also beat me in 2017. I wasn't that active, but still beating me for post is still pretty impressive. Pipe's ground game is also insane. His movement is like no other in the game. Like his ground game, I can't compare it to no one else's. It's just Pipe's ground game, you know what I mean? He's went to Xbox and beat the best 1v1ers over there, Turtle, Wall, Cobra, and all them. So yeah, like this is my rival, and like he's the best I've ever played. Like he consistently has that shot. Like, bro, he's otherworldly is what I'm saying. Like, you know,
crazy motherfucker, bro. I ain't ever seen a guy come back from being 18 piece, man. Yeah, one of a kind, man. Sweaty bastard.
Top one would be Red Bull, because I feel like his ground game and his spawn trapping are just nasty. Really fast shot.
Just outshined a lot of us once a lot of us quit, you know.
Rub on the other hand, you know, he fucking came back, started fucking 30 going nigga.
Okay, so coming up first is me, Z Red Bull. I think I might have more wins on every single person, but don't quote me on that. I don't know, we can have a little debate, but I do think I have like more wins on everyone. I have the most tournaments won. I'm gonna display them on the screen. I've won the most tournaments out of every 1v1er on BO1. I got rank 1 and defended it the longest, like for the longest amount of time in 2015. I got the most 30-0s in BO1 history, over 100. And I was number one in 3 different years. But no, fuck it, let's break it down more. Let's break it down. In 2015, I won Vastest ranking tournament, beating all the best that year and defending my rank for a whole year. And in 2015, I was the first one to truly surpass LC and get more wins on him in 2015. All right, let's move to 2019. In 2019, I came back after 2 years off and beat up Prime Vectors, even winning 8-0 at a certain point. Like, cause you know how you could go 8 rounds. I literally won every single one, and Kirby was in the lobby as proof. So shit. I also 3-0'd Gambi on 3 different occasions, with one being on his host. Honestly, like he was literally on his host. Some would say he's rusty, but he had just 30-0'd Rairu the game prior and whooped Rubrics who mods. So yeah, like here's the link to the game. So I don't want to hear none of that shit, honestly. He's also just coming off his 2017-2018 prime. I also broke the record for the most 30-0s in BO1 history by 30-0ing the likes of Trillion, Ganta, Curvy, Callies, and earning like 50 30-0s. I also won a tournament this year too, so I'll put it up on the screen. In 2020, I continued to break my own 30-0 record and got over like 100 30-0s. I also won a tournament this year and managed to be the first to hit a 20-piece with Harden in an actual 1v1. You don't understand how impressive that is. Reloading with sleight of hand, that's just easy. You get like a 40-piece. But like getting a 20-piece with Harden in an actual 1v1 against a skilled opponent like Trillion, motherfucker, woo, that's it. It got to a point where people weren't even debating if I was going to beat them. They were debating if I was going to like 30-0 them or not. Like, come on, don't lie. If y'all were there around in 2020, it was to a point where like y'all weren't even like, oh, we're gonna beat them. It was like, am I gonna get 30-0 or not?
I wanted to clarify this because someone be wanting to say that they could easily beat someone from the top 10. Maybe they could, but that wasn't the reason why they were ranked ahead of you. There's multiple reasons, skills and accomplishments being the main factors. But this list is purely based off skill level and dominance. So like now you guys see that. Last example I'm gonna make is let's see. Let me get 2 1v1ers. I'll make a good example. Ganta versus Wabby. Everyone wouldn't even think twice about this matchup because how known and respected Wabby is. Everyone would just be like, Wabby would for sure win Prime versus Prime. But Wabby's skill level was already getting surpassed in 2015, for example, and even 16. Like for example, when my junior, who just came back to the game, beat him for rank. And here I'll put the pick on the screen. Comparing that to Ganta's 2020 prime, who's able to 30-0 Randy's and 30-0 a Rusty Pipe, there's no comparison, bro. Wabby, even at his peak, would not be able to pull that off. First reason being because he relied on ground game and like 3 to 5 pieces, you know. Second reason being that the progression of 1v1 evolved greatly since 2014. But in terms of aura and how known they are, Wabby kills them. But in a pure skill prime versus prime contest, it isn't as close as you would think. That's why it surprised me to see Wabby so high on Vector's list. Look, I'll put his list right here on screen. I'm so surprised that he's literally second. And Vectors is someone who played throughout all the years, so he should understand that Wabby got surpassed a long ass time ago, and you can't really debate otherwise. Unless you're talking about like accomplishments, and even then, you know. Anyways, guys, y'all know I always pop up like once a blue moon to talk about my favorite game and shit. Deuces.
Like I'm over here like looking at videos of like people who have the top 10 and stuff, and I'm looking at like the way they play and the way they shoot. It's like, bro, like I look at that, it's like I look back at it now, I'm like, damn, for real.